Hey all, and welcome to our first July lesson. This week we're going to take a look at bucket of boom. And by bucket of boom I mean this extended muting technique that always adds a triplet before a downbeat note. And you'll hear this really commonly in walking bass lines and country music, and it does cross over into bluegrass as well. So I'm going to use an exercise to demonstrate let's see, there's going to be a lot of different versions of this. 4 different versions of the bucket of boom, and using different fingers on your right hand to make that sound and land on different notes. Just to give you an idea of what you're going to hear today, let me play the 4 different versions, and then I'll go through each one. So first, we have one that it'll land on the lowest note we'll be playing. We'll be using a G6 arpeggio to start this exercise. So that's second finger on G on the E string, first finger on B on the A string, open D, E on the D string, and then the first muted note will always be the open G. And we'll use our hand, left hand that is, to mute the note. So here are the different bucket of booms, and this will give you an idea of what it's supposed to sound like. That's the first one. Second. Third one. And the last one, trickiest one. All right, so each bucket of boom is landing on a different note of the G chord. The first one is landing on the root of the chord, the low G on the E string. So we'll play G, B, D, E, and then using our pointer finger only, this is very important, pointer finger only on your right hand, you go down the first 3 strings, all muted, and then land on the low G with your same pointer finger moving through all the strings. Here's what it looks like a little bit more in time. So because we're going through the 4 different strings, you do not need to worry about using different fingers on your right hand. If you think about it, there's 4 notes total in bucket of boom. So you're always going to need 3 muted notes followed by a pitch note. And when there's 4 strings you're going through, you only need to use 1 finger. And then the math starts changing when you want to land on different notes. So just to review, that one sounds like this again, just using your pointer finger. Now let's say you want to land on the B note instead of the low G. You have to include your middle finger on the right hand. And that middle finger is only going to be used once. It's the first note that's played that's a part of the muted pattern. So it'll sound like this, and it'll look like this. I'll slow it down. So what you're doing is you're playing that open G string twice, but both muted. Middle pointer. Pointer comes through the D string muted and lands on the B note on the A string. Pretty cool, yeah? So because you're not using all 4 strings, you have to start using another finger on your right hand. Third one lands on the D, the open D string, and you probably can guess it at this point, you got to include your ring finger now in this muting technique. This one's a little harder. You got to really get your hand around, and all 3 fingers are going to come through the G string. So it'll sound like this. Ring, middle, pointer, and then play the open D string. Hardest one is definitely the last one, where you're going to play the 3 notes on the G string all muted, and then land on the open G string with your pointer finger. So we'll add the pinky in for this fourth one. And this is really challenging. You got to get your entire hand over. Make sure you can tug at the G string with your pinky. It sounds kind of crazy, but you're supposed to be able to get that muted sound with your pinky. Sounds like just the muting alone sounds like this. All right, so here's what this sounds like all together. Definitely the most challenging one because it's all hanging out on one string. So just to review our bucket of booms on this G chord. First one, pointer finger all the way, come down to the low G. Second one, we introduce our middle finger for the first mute and land on the B on the A string. Third, we're going to add our ring finger in, land on the open D. Last but not least, all four fingers on your right hand, just the G string as the muted bucketa, and then also as the pitched boom. That's the sound. You're really using your left hand to mute the strings when you're doing the bucketa. Make sure you get, in time, put your hand in the right place to play boom as well. And if any of this is confusing, reach out to me. Be happy to answer any questions. But the bucketa boom is a great sound to introduce into your playing. Highly recommend you check it out and try it for yourself. So thanks so much for your patience, y'all, this month. I know this has been a little bit late, but I've been real swamped. So excited to share this lesson with you, and I'll catch you guys soon. Later.